Check 1, 2, 3. Looks like we are live. Wow. Well, hello, everybody. I think we're live. We're ready to go. Monday night, Royal We live chat. It's been a few weeks, and I don't know if anybody's going to be on tonight because it's been a while. We've had a little bit of a break, so I'll wait just a few minutes here to see if some people decide to show up. Tanya's in the house. What's up, Tanya? I'm going to go ahead and say hi to everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Long time no see. It's been a couple weeks. Yes. So why was Royal We Fellowship, not Royal We Fellowship, Royal We Fellowship was still going, but why was Royal We live chat cut off for a while? So the last couple of weeks, as you know, in the Midwest, we had some significant bad weather. I mean, the temperatures dropped down to real close to 0 degrees. It was really cold. We had some days where it snowed in. A couple of days it snowed pretty heavy. We got snowed in. Of course, Texas got hit really hard. They lost all kinds of power and electricity, and they lost everything, and so they really suffered. Here in St. Louis, not so much. We didn't suffer that bad, but nonetheless, it was still very cold. I was having really bad reception issues. For some reason, the Saturdays for Royal We Fellowship, I was able to keep that going, but it was just really cold. It was a lot colder at night too, and so it was too cold. Yeah, we had a really bad cold spell. So anyways, that knocked the Royal We out for a little while. We were just hunkered down. Staying hunkered down and keeping warm and trying to get through the bad weather. But it's so good to be back and to see all of you here, all 9 of you, that is, 9 concurrently. I'm going to say hi to those of you who are here. Maria Castillo, Tanya's in the house. How are you? I am blessed. It's good to see you. Revived Lady, it's good to see you. Mike Wilson, yeah. We definitely had a cold spell. So I am putting out videos every night this week. I'm excited about that. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? Welcome for the first time. There's going to be videos every night this week, and I'm excited about that. And the videos are good videos. I'm going to do my best to keep videos coming out every single night. That's one thing I was able to do when I was taking a break from the live chat. I don't want you all to think that I just stop working and stop trying to put helpful content out there, because that's not the case at all. I worked very hard to write and to search myself, search my heart, as far as coming up with different ideas and thoughts and ways to help people, and I'm still doing that. But I have videos all this week. There's a video that I just posted right now about, 15 minutes ago. So if you haven't had an opportunity to see that yet, then hop on over to the Organic Royal We channel, the regular channel, and you'll see that new video that was just posted. But there's a lot of different ideas, a lot of things to talk about still, and I am excited to be here with you. I'm here for you all right now. One of the things that I want to do too, in this new year, is reformat the Royal We live chat, because as much as I enjoy being here with you all, I really feel like we can offer more for the live chat. I would like to see it more interactive, and so during this year, one of the things I would like to try to do is hopefully, and I've mentioned this before, but hopefully turn this more into possibly a podcast, even where it's live and it's a podcast, but maybe I'll have other people and guests once a week, have guests on with me to talk about issues with toxic, dysfunctional relationships and just how to navigate this world of toxicity. And I'm curious to know what you all would think about that. I think that would be a great thing to do. One thing that I know is difficult especially the narcissistic abuse community, is it's difficult to rally together with other people who are also content creators on narcissistic abuse. It seems that way. I don't know why, but I haven't heard people having very good luck with rallying together other people who are in the narcissistic abuse community. It's happened a couple of times, but not a whole lot. And I think that us as survivors and thrivers of narcissistic abuse, I think that many of us fall into the trap of just kind of being closed off, as a result of kind of needing and feeling like we need to protect our understanding, right? So it's and you're in the same place too. When you come out of narcissistic abuse, once you realize you've been manipulated and tricked and fooled, you put up barriers and boundaries in excess to make sure that never happens again. And so, yeah. Revived Lady says, yes, that is why I'm late. Really enjoyed Narcissists Pretend to be Stronger by Making You Feel Weaker, but narcissism is truly cowardice. Yes, that's the new video. The video that I posted tonight that Revived Lady's talking about is just that. Why narcissists pretend to be stronger and make you feel weaker, but it's not true. But anyways, as I was saying, hey, Roxanne Shoemate, how are you? It's good to see you. One Hope for Heaven, it's good to see you too. Revived Lady, it's good to see you here. So at any rate, as I was sharing, I'm trying to find out ways in which I can connect with other people who are also putting content out there, trying to help people through narcissistic abuse and healing. And I would like to interview them, have side-by-side podcast type Zoom calls, something more for you all. So when we come together on Monday nights, there's more than just me talking. And I think that would be great. And not only that, but you could still call in and even ask the other person as well some questions. And because chances are you've seen the videos from the other people as well. And so I would really, so pray for me. I'm asking the Royal We community, lift that up in prayer. The doors will open up to reformat this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen this next week, okay? We're not talking about this happening next Monday night. We're talking about this year, just reformatting the Royal We Live chat to include more interaction with other content creators and you as well. So pray for that. And I believe that would be amazing. Personally, I would love to chat with others. I really would, especially other content creators. And I would love to call up Melanie Tanya Evans and Richard Grannon. Who knows? Maybe even who else is out there? Little Shaman. Love to get some of these folks and talk with them and share our understandings together. I think that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So that's the goal. That's the goal for this year. And I also, another goal for this year. Hi, Marcus123. What's going on? Roxanne. Roxanne, love you too. Thank you. That's awesome. Another thing that I'm working on for this year. So I feel like this is kind of a sharing night of where I'm just sharing where I'm hopefully going with the Royal We. Hopefully where we're all going. Yeah, Associate Direct. I would love to talk with him too. That would be great. So I'm going to start reaching out to some of these people. See what, Dwayne at DSD. I'll check him out. Richard Grannon. Who knows? Maybe I could even get Sam Vakman in, right? The self-proclaimed world's greatest author of narcissistic abuse. I know he says he's a self-proclaimed narcissist, and so I sometimes watch his videos. They fascinate me. I've learned a lot. It's always good sometimes to get a perspective from a self-proclaimed narcissist, right? And I know Sam Vakman is that, and boy is he. I mean, when you see his videos, I'm not slamming him. I love the insight he offers, but I love how I love how his videos typically start with, yes, I'm Sam Vakman, your favorite and number one author of Malignant Narcissism. I'm like, yeah, man, that's great. There's that that confidence that only a self-proclaimed narcissist would put out there, you know. But I would love to get him on, man. I would love to talk with him and have him share his insight. I truly would. HD Tutor is another self-proclaimed narcissist. Perhaps some of these people would love to share their insights. All I can do is all I can do is reach out. And I agree. One Hope for Heaven. I think I saw One Hope for Heaven say stick to Christian coaches, and you know that's a possibility. I appreciate that, One Hope for Heaven. I appreciate that you're wanting to stick with Christian coaches, but I would feel as though a different perspective on narcissism as a topic, right? Even if it's from non-Christian sources, right? I know a lot of them out there are not Christian, but they understand the physical damage, the mental and emotional damage of dysfunctional relationships, and there can still be some good things in there, right? So I don't know if I'd want to limit it to just Christian. And what I find from, I don't know how many Christian coaches there are out there, but what I find from a lot of Christian preachers and pastors is there's a lack of understanding of narcissism and almost a willful ignorance and wanting to stay away from that topic altogether. I think I'm one of the few who comes out with a Christian background that actually talks about narcissistic abuse. And the reason is because in dealing with narcissists, division is key. And a lot of Christianity does not like division, unfortunately, right? Modern Christianity has grown to this, let's all be one and let's love and let's bring in people, where we're talking now, no, you see this, you divide from it. Like light divides from darkness. This is what we have to do. You know, so I think different perspectives would be good on that. Yeah, One Hope for Heaven says, Grannon has badmouthed Christianity, probably, many times, and Little Shaman is into metaphysics, psychics. Yeah, I hear you, One Hope for Heaven. I do. I completely understand this. And I would not in any way condone, you know, bad-mouthing Christianity, but I do understand, I can understand why a lot of people would turn away from Christianity. I myself struggle with Christianity coming out of narcissistic abuse, and Christianity has been my foundational core belief since I was a young child. But for me, it was because I feel the church failed me in helping me to navigate a narcissistic and toxic world. I felt like I just had blinders on, rosy-colored Christianese goggles on, and I wasn't prepared for dealing with the world. And I felt like Christianity failed me. Now, I wouldn't badmouth Christianity, but I can see how a lot of people look at modern Christianity of today, and all they see is the hypocrisy of it, right? One of the things I struggle with the church, modern Christianity, is that at some point Christianity decided not to separate itself from the world. Rather, it decided to become one with the world, right? This goes into taking holidays and stuff, Christmas and Easter, which were always pagan rituals, and it turned them into, well, we want to use these too and put Jesus in it. Jesus had nothing to do with these rituals. Jesus, when he was here, there was no Christmas, there was no Easter. It wasn't even something the disciples even knew about. It wasn't. It's something that later Christianity literally stole from pagans and tried to make it Christian too. And so this is a part of Christianity, kind of, I believe, overstepping the bounds of being all things to all people and losing sight of what it means to be different and set apart from the world, and instead joined in the world. And I think that Christianity teeter-totters on this with music as well. I've been a worship leader. I played bass for big churches in California. And while at the time I really felt and believed, and I still believe, that God can work through that music, and I had a great time, but as I look back, I think, man, it was such a rock and roll show. So many lights and so much smoke. I mean, I, I, I mean, God knows I breathed in so much of that, those fog machines on stage, man. I breathed that stuff in, and I had laser lights flashing in front of my eyes, and oftentimes couldn't even see who was out there worshiping because it was just show. And I get it. The church wants to compete with the world, but man, the church is not called to join the world and keep up with it. The church is called to be different. And once again, we can see how modern Christian music just kind of, instead of separating itself and being something different to God, is once again gone into the territory of borrowing and taking from the world. Interesting concepts to explore, nonetheless. But as far as Little Shaman, I love Little Shaman, man. I got to tell you, I know she's not a Christian. I don't know what she's into. I don't know what her beliefs are. But I love her insight. Man, the stuff Little Shaman has written that on some of her videos that I've watched gave me such an understanding of narcissism, of the personality disorder. She's good. I like her. I like her approach. Thank you, Tanya, for that. All right, let me get to some of your questions here. I see some questions here. Jess Stanley mentions me. Thank you for that. Nance, is it Nancy? Nance? I'm going to write that down just so I make note of it, okay? I'm going to make note of that. This is somebody that maybe I could reach out to. So the name is Jess. By the way, if any of you know of anybody else who mentions the Royal We, just let me know, simply because I'd like to reach out to them and see if it's possible to ever do a side-by-side podcast or a live chat where you all could call in and we can do something together. So let me know. Somebody brought to my attention, I had somebody messaged me on Instagram recently and said they found my channel and thankful for it, and they said that they were on TikTok, and TikTok is some video platform, and she said that she found me on TikTok. I said, I'm not on TikTok. She said, no, somebody else was sharing your stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, what? That's a trip. That's awesome. I wish I knew who these people were. All right, so Jess Stanley. I'm going to have to check out Jess Stanley. Let's see. What questions do we have? Lisa Romano, Ollie Matthews, just naming a few. Yep. I'm aware of them as well. Yes. Jesus at the table. Core beliefs in Jesus is key, though. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Doris. Thank you. Thank you, Doris Bove. Doris says, I love you, Kevin. You are so articulate. I don't always feel that way, but thank you. I appreciate that. I wish, I'll tell you what, honestly, just being real with some of you, if you saw me here recording my videos oftentimes for the Royal We channel, if you saw how many times I would stop that camera and start over again. Let me tell you something. It's hard talking to a camera with nobody around. I'm getting better at it. It took me a long time. I used to enjoy talking in front of people, and then when I set that camera up and start talking, oh man, and I just go. I just start talking, and if I feel like I messed up, or if I hear a car that's too loud, or a dog bark, or a bug fart or something, it just throws me off, and I'm like, duh, and I trip up, and I turn the camera off, and I start the whole thing over again. And so just be thankful you all aren't here a part of the production crew, because it would drive you nuts. You would probably say, Kevin, just talk, say the video. This is take number 7. Just do it, man. Let's see. All right, some questions. Let's get some questions here. Colorado Avs fan 69 says this: Kevin, do narcissists go to hell when they die? I like the little emoji like? That's a good question. I think we all want to know, right? Do narcissists go to hell when they die? I mean, without reading anymore, I'm just going to pause and say this. I'm not God, so obviously, and nobody here is God. And when we talk about who goes to heaven and who goes to hell, there's only one person, one entity that knows, that even knows and fathoms what heaven and hell is, that created the heavens and the hells and everything else in between, right? And that's God. Nobody can answer for that. You will not get an answer for that from anybody. And anybody who tries to give you a straight up yes, no answer for that is wrong, would be wrong. I'll tell you this, Colorado Avs fan 69, and you're not going to like this, what I'm about to tell you, but it's, we all need to, all right, listen, I'm just going to say this, buckle in your seatbelts real quick, all right? Just fasten your seatbelts down. Right, I'm going to tell you something that's going to potentially throw you off your rocker. So make sure you're buckled in, right? If you got your cup, hold on to it tightly. Grab onto your chair. All right, here we go. God has said this in Deuteronomy and in other places in the Bible. The Lord says, I am God. I am the God of good and of evil. I cause my sun to rise on the righteous and the unrighteous. God says that. I am God of good and of evil. Right? And then also he says, I call heaven as a witness against you today, that I set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. I know this for a fact is found in Deuteronomy. It's found in other places. We have to understand that God is fully aware of evil and that God is the God of evil as well. And that's the part you got to buckle up for. That's the part that we don't comprehend, fathom, and understand. Because what we really have to do is be grateful and thankful for who God made us to be, and fulfill the life that God has called us to live individually. And it causes us to not focus on the evil or the intentions or the lifestyles of others, of narcissists. In other words, we're not to worry about whether or not they go to hell. We're not to worry about what their life is going to be about and what they're going to do. What we need to worry about is our interaction with them, being that we know who we are, who God created us to be. Therefore, where are we to be in position to the evil, right? We can't sit here and say, stop being evil. That would be like the light that God created in the beginning of Genesis, right? What did it say when it says the Spirit of God hovered over the surface of the deep and it was dark and chaotic, and God said, let there be light, and then said what? He divided the light from the darkness, right? And the light he called day, the darkness he called night, right? You recall that? So he divided it. And by the way, this didn't have to do with the sun and the moon. It's not that kind of light and day. The sun and the moon didn't exist yet, right? We don't see that until later in Genesis. But in the beginning, God said, let there be light. So he made two distinctions. There's light and there's darkness. There's good and there's evil. He divided it. And so when you think about this, you know, the light couldn't sit there and point at the darkness and say, stop being dark, doggone it. You can't be dark anymore. You've got to be light like this side. That's not what happened. What happened was a divide was created. And this is important for us to understand. So there's good and there's evil in this world, and there's a divide. And there needs to be a divide. We need to stop pointing at the evil and waiting for it to change, and instead just live in the light and do what light does, do what good does, and let God worry about what the evil is doing, what the dark is doing. Because as it says in Deuteronomy, God says, I am the God of good and of evil. I cause my sun to rise on the righteous and the unrighteous. I see it all. I'm aware of it all. But God's only interest in this is where are you at? How many of this am I resonating? How many of you think I'm off my freaking rocker and want me to just shut up? You can tell me that if you want. All right, let's see. Mike Wilson likes the music. Thank you, Mike. Island Eric Stone. Island Eric has a interesting comment. My girl was BPD, very violent and dangerous. Do you focus on BPD or just narcs? I think they overlap quite a bit. Very interesting. So, Island Eric, if you're new to the Royal We, thank you for your question, and I'll answer it very simply. I don't break things terminology I don't break it down into these types of counseling terminology because there's so many of them. There's bipolar, there's cluster B, there's cluster B is a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them within cluster B. There's psychopathy, there's sociopathy, there's histrionic, there's antisocial, right? And so you can just pick and choose your card, whatever. Narcissistic abuse speaks towards an overall umbrella, if you will, over one commonality that all these things can inherently possess, which is a lack of care and consideration for anybody or anything outside of themselves. So there's moments when bipolar disorder or cluster Bs or whatever the case may be, histrionics, they don't care, especially psychopaths, sociopaths. They don't care about the humanity in front of them. They don't care about anything else other than themselves and what they need at that moment, even if it means hurting somebody else who's innocent. And so what I am put this all under is the umbrella of narcissism, because narcissism is the lack of empathy for other people and only care and consideration for the self. So hopefully this answers your question. To break it down even further for you, no, I don't specifically talk about bipolar or cluster Bs or histrionic. I talk about narcissism, understanding this, that abuse is abuse is abuse. Doesn't matter if it's bipolar, it doesn't matter if it's cluster B, it doesn't matter if it's histrionic, it doesn't matter if it's antisocial. If somebody is threatening your life because of any disorder, then it can qualify as narcissistic abuse, the lack of empathy for you or for others, and you need to get out. And that is the Royal We drive. I've never talked with anybody and who found out, oh my gosh, I was dealing with a cluster B and I feel better now. Now I know how to deal with them. Or, oh my gosh, that makes sense. This person's bipolar, so now I know how to get along with them. No, it doesn't work that way. They're still abusive at the end of the day, and you still most likely aren't going to be able to deal with it, nor should you want to. Because a lot of these issues we're not qualified to be intimately involved with. Hope that makes sense. Toxic is toxic, Mike Wilson says. Yes. All right. Overcome evil with good. With that, yeah, okay. Yeah, Island Eric said she was borderline, not bipolar. Sorry about that. Yes, yeah. Already, I get it. I get it confused between bipolar and borderline, and that's why I typically don't go down the routes of trying to understand these diagnoses, if you will, of what it is people could be struggling with. I only see it as, is it abusive or not? And to me, I struggle to make sense of any abusive behavior, no matter what the diagnosis is. To me, it's just abuse. Okay, Tanya says how to handle anger. Anger is something that we've talked a lot about on Royal We. So understand anger. What is anger? Anger, first of all, is nothing to be ashamed of. Anger is a gift. Not to quote the one of my bands I listened to in high school, Rage Against the Machine. Right? Anger is a gift. It's anger is a gift if you know what the purpose of anger is for. So anger is a part of our drive to fix things in life. Okay? Let's say you are building something. You're working on hammering something, a piece of wood into another, right? We're going back into uh, ancient days where people had to hammer stuff with the rock, and you're hammering this thing and it's not going in right. And so you're going to get a little bit frustrated, and you're going to start to get it to work. And that's anger. That's the purpose of anger. It builds that frustration, that drive, and that determination to fix the problem, to find a solution, to make something work. This is what anger is for. That's healthy anger, right? The reason we have anger is because we are problem solvers. That's what we are. That's part of what I believe God has instilled in us. It's part of our instinctual behaviors. We are problem solvers. So understand, if you're dealing with a lot of anger, it's because you could not solve the problem, nor do you know how to fix this issue of narcissistic abuse that you've been dealing with. It comes down to understanding that there are some things in life you're not going to be able to fix. And when it comes to another human being and their outlook on life and who they are and their abusive behaviors and patterns, it's not as simple as hammering pieces of wood together, right? Now you're getting into the complexities and stuff that we can't fathom about other human beings, and there's no way to fix it. And so you have to redirect your efforts of fixing. You have to take that anger that wants to fix the broken relationship and wants to fix them, and instead you have to apply that frustration to yourself now and fix and resolve the broken pieces of yourself and get back onto the right path in life, right? To where you have joy again. Hope that makes sense to you. Bonnie asks a good question. What can we do to enlighten pastors and elders and lay people about narcissistic abuse? Most will say go home and treat them better. Yes. Listen, I'm not laughing at your question, but I'm laughing because that's exactly what I heard. This is why I suffered and had a problem with Christianity, because that's exactly what I heard, Bonnie. Word for word. When I was, again, I was involved with some big churches in California on the worship team. And when I would go there and say, listen, this is what's going on with my in-laws and the siblings, and this is the fights and the attacks. And I literally heard just that. Kevin, you just have to go and love on them. Go love on them more. You're not loving on them enough. As if we don't come out of narcissistic abuse already feeling bad, then we have church pastors making us feel worse, saying that we're not loving enough, which, by the way, is what narcissists are saying, right? They're saying, you don't love me enough, and that's why I'm abusing you. So, no, churches don't get it. Pastors don't get it. And, Bonnie, they're not going to. Their answer every time is going to be, well, go love them, because the modern westernized Christian message is that of, well, just go be a love bug everywhere and, don't have any boundaries. No. Because it in modern Western Christianity, it became very capitalistic. It became a big business, and division is not good for business by no means. I mean, how can you fill in a stadium full of seats if you're going to tell people to divide and get away from other hurting people, right? You're not going to be able to fill your stadium arenas. So the message is always going to be go and love them and bring them to church and make sure they sit down next to you. And you're like, nah, I don't think I want to do that. I'm tired of being cussed at and threatened by these people. So, yeah. You can love people from a distance. That's it. Yeah, Roxanne makes a great point. The more you love them, the more of a supply you are to them. Not only that, but the more you enable them. Okay? I mean, if somebody's being abusive to you and you're loving them for it, you're actually rewarding them. It's kind of like, what's that old saying? There used to be a meme. Somebody getting slapped, and then the other person says, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Right? "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" It's kind of like that. The more you love on an abusive person, the more you tell them it's okay for you to abuse me. At some point, you've got to just get the heck out. Get the heck out. Right on. Well, listen up, Royal We community. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. What a blessing. You all bless me so much. So happy to see all of you here. I'm so excited for this new year. So keep in prayer. Keep some ideas coming. Listen, for those of you who aren't following me on Instagram yet, go over there. Send me emails. Send me messages. Let me know of your thoughts of connecting with other content creators, possibly doing podcast stuff like that. Just keep in touch with me. Talk with me. I would appreciate that. We'll be back next Monday night on Royal We Life chat right here. Saturday mornings is Royal We Fellowship. So for those of you who wake up Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Central, join me, Royal We Fellowship. We're still in the book of Genesis. And man, I'll tell you what, friends, family, we are learning a lot about narcissism just in the book of Genesis. Already. It's like every chapter. It's all toxicity. It's all toxicity. All right. Right on. All right, everyone. Have a great week. And head on over to the other Royal We channel tonight. If you haven't already, check out the video that I just posted tonight. Again, that's on the regular Royal We channel. The video is called Narcissists Seem Stronger. I forgot what I titled it. Seem stronger, make you feel weaker, but it's not true. Yeah. All right. I'll be back. All right, much love to you all. Have a great night and a great rest of your week. And I'll be right here. All right, everybody. Bye.